2026 is here, and after an underwhelming 2025, WWE has a ton of pressure to deliver a fantastic year of programming. So join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 of the craziest predictions for WWE in 2026. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Number 10. Brock Lesnar retires. Now, as things stand, 2026 could be the year of 3 huge retirements in WWE, and we already know that AJ Styles is confirmed to retire at some point in the next year, and it's heavily rumored that a returning Chris Jericho will be retiring in 2026. It's also been widely reported that WWE legend Brock Lesnar is finally calling it a day in the next year, and WWE could be looking to build towards a match between Lesnar and Gunther. Lesnar vs Gunther has been a dream match for years for many fans, and the match just so happening to be Lesnar's final match will be a major deal. It's also possible that Lesnar has some input in who he retires against, as Lesnar certainly has some creative sway within the company when it comes to who he wrestles. This was on full display back in 2017 when Lesnar opted against wrestling Jinder Mahal, and WWE would pivot and proceed with a Lesnar vs AJ Styles matchup. Now, whilst on paper it would make sense for Lesnar to retire at WrestleMania 42, it seems that SummerSlam just so happens to take place in Minnesota, so the main attraction for the show is likely going to be Lesnar's retirement match. Number 9. The Year of Returns. Now, as well as a year of retirements, 2026 could be the year of returns in WWE. We know that Chris Jericho is expected to return, but we could also see the WWE return of Paige. Paige has been heavily rumored to return for some time now, and with her being an established talent, and with names such as Nikki Bella and AJ Lee back in WWE, this return makes a lot of sense. Other potential returns include Brie Bella, who stated that she wants one more WWE run, and also Dolph Ziggler, who returned in 2025 to a huge pop, and had a stellar showing on Raw. We've also learned to never say never when it comes to pro wrestling returns, particularly when it comes to WWE. So the chances of a big AEW name such as Edge aka Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley aka Dean Ambrose jumping ship can't be 100% ruled out. Number 8. The Undertaker returns in a new role. The Undertaker has made his presence felt as part of the creative team in AAA. Taker is a complete novice in this role, but he's said to have done extremely well in the new role, and his partnership with Jeremy Borash has received rave reviews internally in WWE. And now we're facing major creative hurdles when it comes to SmackDown. The show throughout 2025 has failed to deliver the goods, and the show has felt stale and underwhelming. Fans were crying out for something new. The problem comes from a weak creative team who have no new ideas, and the introduction of an extra hour is only going to make things worse. The Undertaker and Jeremy Borash are proven commodities in the creative role, so what does WWE have to lose by giving both the pen to the Blue brand? It's not as if the show can get any worse, and WWE could revert things back to the normal team if it doesn't go to plan. They could even publicly announce that The Undertaker is now on the creative team, similarly to how they did back in 2019 with Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff. This would generate major buzz in the WWE product, and could even lead to a surge in the ratings for the Blue brand. Come on, miracles have happened. Number 7. Dominic Mysterio wins Money in the Bank. And Money in the Bank 2026 will take place in September, and whilst this is a wild change, it will give fans something to look forward to in the second half of the year. For the men's Money in the Bank match, WWE has so many options, and they have 5 sensible options for the briefcase, the first being Dominic Mysterio. Dom has had a stellar 2025, he won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania and even defeated John Cena in his final ever PLE. WWE could easily follow this up with a Money in the Bank win, and the crowd are firmly on his side, so they would no doubt accept him in the role. LA Knight. Is 2026 the time that LA Knight finally wins the Money in the Bank match? He's been a fan favorite for some time now, and it's about time WWE capitalized on his popularity. But there's also Jacob Fatu, as WWE needs fresh blood at the top of the card, and one of these names is Jacob Fatu. A Money in the Bank win would be an easy way to push Fatu into the main event picture, but there could be a big one, Obafemi. Slowly but surely WWE is going all in on Obafemi, and a Money in the Bank win could be on the horizon. Would this style of booking suit Femi? Well, who's to say, but 2026 could be the year of Femi. And Chris Jericho. Now that Chris Jericho is WWE bound, what better way to capitalize on his return by having him win the match he invented? This would be a fitting moment for Jericho's final year in the company. As for the women's Money in the Bank winner, WWE's hit a home run when it comes to the winner of the briefcase over the past few years. Likely options for the 2026 briefcase include Chelsea Green, Roxanne Perez, and even Sol Ruca. Number 6. The Royal Rumble winner is... Well, a lot of fans believe the 2026 Royal Rumble is predictable, and there may be some merit behind that belief. All signs point towards Roman Reigns winning the Rumble, especially as it's been widely reported that Reigns vs Cody Rhodes Part 3 is planned for WrestleMania 42. It's hard to see another outcome for the winner of the match. However, if Bron Breakker is unsuccessful in defeating CM Punk on the first Raw of 2026, then Breakker is a sensible option. For the Women's Rumble, we could be looking at Bianca Belair winning, but this of course depends on whether she returns in time and gets medical clearance. If Belair is still on the shelf, Rhea Ripley or even AJ Lee could be a smart option. Number 5. 2026 is the new era. WWE needs to make stars as a matter of urgency. They have an aging roster and most of the top male stars are over 40. WWE has slowly realized this in the second half of 2025, and they're starting to push names such as Bron Breakker, Austin Theory, and even Carmelo Hayes up the card. 2026 could be the new 2005 in WWE, as they crown young stars to lead the company for the next decade. Breakker is destined to win the world title at some point in 2026, and a lot of fans feel like he should get his moment on the grand stage of WrestleMania. WWE has so many young names that could be big-time players for them, but they have to get the presentation and booking just right. And the booking and push can't feel forced, or the crowd may outright reject the chosen star. The Dominic Mysterio route has worked extremely well, as by the time Mysterio was winning a title at WrestleMania 41, he was being heavily cheered and the fans were ready for him in this role. This can be a dangerous balancing act, but WWE must take the risk, and 2026 is the year where they must usher in a new era. Number 4. Roman Reigns wins the WWE title. A Roman Reigns vs Cody Rhodes Part 3 is reportedly the planned WWE title match at WrestleMania, and there's a strong belief that Reigns is walking out as WWE Champion. Now the problem with this is that WWE are back to where they were in 2022. Reigns is not working a full-time deal, in fact he's only worked 7 matches this year, and this will mean that Rhodes is once again carrying the company just without a title on his shoulder. What is the logic of putting the title on a part-timer, especially when both Netflix or USA Network will want the champion on their show on a weekly basis? WWE likely wants to give Reigns another huge moment, and it's entirely possible that he holds on to the title for another year and he wrestles The Rock at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia. The problem with this is that a 12-month part-time reign may push fans away from the product, and they may actively begin to turn against the popular babyface, and this is something WWE needs to avoid. Number 3. Cody Rhodes turns heel. Could 2026 finally be the year in which WWE turns Cody Rhodes heel? A heel turn for Rhodes was initially pitched by The Rock in early 2025, but WWE quite rightly turned this down, and instead will receive the now infamous John Cena heel turn. With 2025 being a poorly received year, they're more likely than ever to take huge risks, and this could mean a Rhodes heel turn at some point in 2026. The problem with this is that WWE is traditionally led by a top babyface, whether that being Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, or Cody Rhodes. What name would replace Rhodes in that crucial role? That's ultimately the dilemma for WWE. Number 2. WWE are forced to lower ticket prices. The WWE ticket prices are out of control, there's no denying it. WWE shows were previously affordable to all, but these days are sadly long gone. Even WWE great Randy Orton was stunned to find out how much one fan paid for his WrestleMania ticket, and this should have been the wake-up call WWE needed. TKO execs believe that the company was wrong to price tickets so families could afford them, and these comments quite rightly received a major backlash. TKO is showing their greed in the current pricing model, and it's slowly beginning to backfire, as ticket sales for TV can be seen decreasing in certain areas. Fans simply don't have enormous amounts of money to attend a standard Raw or SmackDown show, and when WWE has to bring out the dreaded black top to hide the empty seats, then they'll be forced to lower ticket prices to get those families back in those seats. And number 1, Triple H is booted out the door. 2025 was unfortunately the year when fans really turned on Triple H. Triple H has become the face of the WWE creative output, and thanks to shows such as WWE Unreal, knowledge that Triple H runs the show is universally known. This was always a risk from WWE, as the moment the product wasn't as hot as it was, all the backlash would fall on one man, and that being Triple H. Triple H's booking was so heavily loathed in late 2025 that after John Cena's final match, he was heckled with a huge amount of boos, and some say the negativity directed towards the game really overshadowed John Cena's final moment. 2026 could be the year in which TKO decides to go in a brand new direction, and they could have The Rock unceremoniously boot the game right out the door. This would be a huge risk for the company, as despite a messy year from a creative aspect, the company is still thriving financially, and Triple H does deserve credit for this. However, The Rock, who isn't exactly best friends with the game, may see the negative reaction to the game's booking and decide to switch things up. The likely replacement for Triple H would be Brian Gewirtz, The Rock's personal friend and the man who was a head writer for WWE during the tail end of the Attitude Era. But one of the fundamental flaws in doing this is talent morale. Triple H is seen as a father figure by many in the company, and if TKO boots him out the door, Triple H's biggest supporters aren't going to be pleased. This could destroy trust between TKO and the talent, and TKO could face a major internal revolt. Key names such as Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins and Io Sky are all of Triple H's hand-picked stars, so they won't exactly be comfortable with him getting the boot. Even names such as CM Punk, who've had prior bad blood with the game, have a thriving working relationship with him now, so TKO will need to be extremely careful if they're planning on changing who runs WWE Creative. But could you see any of these happening in 2026? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.